and I am going to run,
thank
so
you.
we can't have our conversation now.
Absolutely. Oop,
Whoa.
did he leave?
I think he did.
All right, episode 4 already, and I don't think people are expecting this. I don't think people are expecting to have Kevin on
I know one
today.
person who's not expecting it. Carrie's not expecting it.
Oh, really?
You
Yeah.
guys will find that when you watch the Trash to Cash tomorrow. Carrie, he's like, I don't respond to him for 9 hours, and this is what it's pretty funny.
boy.
You're stuck with me. Oh, he's trying to start
That's
some
right.
new drama, I think.
So you guys recorded yesterday.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
We did.
Ah.
I don't even think they
Okay.
know I'm going to be on this. This
Oh,
might be the end of the
wow.
road for Trash to
well-
Cash when they find out. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Well, I wasn't even
Oh,
going to
no.
make that whole story public. But first of all, welcome, Kevin.
Thanks for joining us, Kevin. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Honored to have you on here.
Wow,
Thanks for
Kevin,
having me.
Kevin walks in the room and pulls the pin on the hand grenade and just kind of drops it and says, "Hey guys."
Hey, Carrie pulled it, man. Carrie pulled it. He's like, this is just whatever. I was like, oh, this is funny. Because I sent him, you send me a message. I send him a message. It's what I do. I'm their secretary.
Okay.
Their personal
okay.
secretary.
Well, yeah, you have been kind of a go-between a little bit because your guys are kind of hard to get in touch with sometimes. Man.
Dave is impossible. You'll see it on our podcast. He said, well, he had to apologize because I guess he said that you that maybe you blocked him from Facebook or something or whatever. He's like, no, I just turned off all my messages.
Yeah, I could see him messaging me. I couldn't reply back or something, and then I'm watching y'all, and he's like, he might have me blocked. I'm like, no, dude. And then I think he realized that he changed some account setting or something like that. So
Facebook's kind of wonky in that way too, where they have like the marriage between Instagram and Facebook, and the messaging system can kind of get weird sometimes. They have like primary, and they have like
use it. Facebook for me is impossible. I don't know, Lonnie, if you sent me anything over there or not. It is impossible. There's so much. I mean, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of messages a day on there, so I don't do anything. But I do a little bit on Instagram. Other than that, it's a phone number. It's impossible.
This isn't the way I thought this was going to start, but do you ever feel like a lot of guilt for not replying to I feel guilt for not replying to comments and messages constantly. I feel terrible every day for years because so many people trying to get in touch, and like there aren't enough hours in the day, and even when you say it, and even though people I think kind of understand it, it still comes off as like unappreciative and like big time, and like, do you feel guilty about that?
All the time. I tell Dave, this life isn't made for those who are cursed with self-awareness. I wish I was more like you, Dave. That's what I tell him because it's the truth. I feel that way all the time. Now, where I've finally given up feeling guilty about it is the people that message me on eBay about non-eBay stuff because I've said it for so long. I'm just like, listen, I can't. Or they're sending me messages about, hey, you want to buy this from me? I'm like, I can't do that on eBay anyways. I'm not going to send those messages. Yeah, I'll meet you at the corner store down here or whatever. And I make it pretty public on what I really care about the most is the Flipper channel and those people. Those are like hardcore, people. There's a smaller audience, but I tell them on that channel, don't send me a message on Facebook. Don't, here's how you can get in. I tell them now about our selling site, and I will take messages over there because that means people got to come over to my selling site. But it's literally the only place that I could do it.
I do appreciate you because when I did say I was having trouble communicating, and then you said, here's my phone. You gave me your phone number, which I really appreciate. And you and I have been contacted, like communicating like that. It's been perfect. Now, the Carrie situation, I don't know what he's going to say yet. I don't know.
It's
but
it doesn't matter.
But
whatever it is, it won't be serious.
No, well, I don't know if it is or not, but I hope not. But the messaging worked fine. Seemed to be A-OK, Johnny on the spot when he was asking me to do something. But as soon as the roles reversed, And I did look, man. I came on y'all's show and I tried to give a good performance, and I think I did. I held up my end of the bargain.
You did for
and
sure.
as soon as the roles were reversed, it would be, "Hey, Carrie, you want to do it?" And he'd answer me, and then I'd say, and then I'd reply, and then it would be like I went a whole week with hearing nothing, and then like finally I got him again. I think after talking to you, and then we talked back and forth once, and I replied again. And it was like another 24 hours.
But you forgot one thing, Lonnie. You forgot what you told him on the podcast.
What is that?
It's really, really hard to do dailies. And when he originally contacted, right at the very beginning, it was before he was doing dailies. See? So there you go.
Well, that's our okay. Well, you know what? We'll go ahead and use that as
Listen,
as
I will
an
say
excuse.
this about Carrie. Carrie is he really is kind and gentle. And very, very nice, and he's a great guest on podcasts too, by the way.
And I think we should also mention as well that he did say that he would come on at one point in your messages, right, Lonnie? He said he would come on, right? But then, 'cause I don't know what he's gonna say on the podcast, so I'm just
I don't either. So I kind of want to hold my fire because if this guy buries me. If he buries me on their podcast, I might want to change.
I would love to see Carrie bury anybody. I'd love to see it. Because he buries me all the time. But when the podcast is over, sometimes I get a message from Carrie. I'm sorry, dude. Did I go too far? It happens all the time. I'm like, Carrie, it's all right. I'll tell you if you went too far. Yeah. It's fine.
Well,
that's
whatever.
What makes it funny, I think. The quick quips, really good.
Maybe we can get together on a. And get him on here. We'll see. But yeah, no hard feelings. I mean, I thought I was pretty polite and everything to him, but at some point, I was like, all right, if it's that hard, then maybe it wasn't meant to be. You know.
Well, Carrie's a terrific guest. I mean that. Dave is a terrible guest. He's terrible. He can't.
Okay, well we won't have him on then. We'll take your word for it. We won't even invite him.
Some famous
that was easy.
Famous guest appearances on different places that didn't exactly go well. But
oh, really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
We might kind of shift. We're kind of considering shifting gears though. You could potentially end up being the most famous guest we ever have on this podcast.
It's possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Amber's not going to like that.
Well, you're more famous. You're not better than Amber, but you are more famous than Amber.
I'm not smarter than Amber. I can tell you.
No,
that.
You're not.
She's a very smart girl. Oh yeah.
None of the three of us are smarter than Amber.
Even though in my former life that I don't talk about much, I knew 3 people who were actuaries, and 2 of them I didn't go through the process, but I watched them go through the process of doing that testing. I'm like, oh,
it's no joke.
Gosh.
Yep.
It was like their entire life was consumed by it, and I'm like, no, thank you.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
No. You go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, you just said something kind of interesting, like their entire life was consumed by it. That's a question that I think we wanted to ask you, Lonnie. You mentioned it to me earlier. How do you have the time to do everything that you do? And Lonnie, you can expand on this because I know this was your question.
You know what I would like to do first? I would like to. Let's go ahead and talk about everything that you and those that work with you do, because when I watch, I've been for years, man. I've always respected this about you.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's work ethic is
unmatched.
Ridiculous. I think it's unmatched.
Yeah, I think so.
And I know you have help. I'm not saying you don't, but your work ethic. But before we get into that, and before you poo-poo it and say, "Oh no, it's not that big of a deal," I can see you doing it already. Before you do that, let's talk about what you do. What is your first channel you ever started?
Commonwealth Picker was the first one I ever started.
And was that your first time on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can go back and watch the first video. Carrie still teases me about it to this day. I mean, it was bad. First of all, I looked like a POW because I don't know why I was so skinny at the time. And I filmed it, vertical. And I did it with my phone, and I just had it. You know, I had been watching you, Lonnie. I'd been watching you, Pete. I'd been watching all these folks and Crazy Lamplay and just all these people I've been watching. I'm like, man, I think I could do this. The only problem is I have no technological skills whatsoever. So I grabbed the phone, and I had just bought a one of those big puffer polo jackets that they call them well, I don't know if I can say suicide, but I just did. The downhill skier jackets. I just bought one at a parking lot sale. I'm like, oh, this would be great for a video, right? And I filmed it, and it was so bad. And it's still up. It's still my first video over there. And I was like, you know what? I'm very habitual, as you can see with what I just put in my mouth. Always have been my whole life. So I got to be careful what my vices are.
Wait, what did you
And
put in your mouth? I didn't see that.
Yeah, it tripped out there for a sec.
Was that a dip or something? You got a dip in?
Well, it's
Zen?
Zen, same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what?
I
I'll
was
join
a baseball
you.
coach for. There you go. I was a baseball coach for years and years, and I had tobacco in my mouth from 16 to 35.
Oh.
Well, better than tobacco, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
I did that, and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to do this every day for a year, no matter what. I'm doing it every day for 1 year. If it works, it works at a year. If it hasn't worked, I'm calling it off, and we'll stop.
Smart.
And I did it. I did it every stinking day that first year. Matter of fact, I went on for longer than that, maybe 500 days in a row or something like that.
That's
so
insane.
you
Wow.
set out to do it every single day, and you did it.
And I did it. Yep.
So after one, well, you know what? I want to come back to that, but I want to cover everything you do.
All right.
Okay. So, and you started another channel, right?
I did because of some guy that did the same thing.
I don't have your work ethic though, and your follow through and your dedication. So
Well, you won't let me poo-poo that, but I will just say there are other people that I know in this space that work far harder than me, and I can't believe that they do it. But whatever, we can get into those a little bit later. I mean, Dave is one of them. I got to be honest with you. This guy it's 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, and he
Really?
doesn't play a lot though too. So maybe you got to subtract that time. He's man, I don't know if he's the absolute hardest worker I've ever seen in my life. Most productive. There's a few more in our space. Bearded Thrift Machine. If you ever watched him, it is insane the amount that he does because he does the same type stuff and does it.
wait,
so much
are you
more.
talking about ADHD Dave? ADH Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, you're saying he's a harder worker than you?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think anybody that knows him would say that.
I don't know him, but that is
That's surprising.
shocking.
You gotta understand,
I
told
never would have
Ryan-
guessed that.
I don't think you know this, and I know Ryan didn't know this. Dave is far bigger YouTuber than any of us probably will ever be.
Yep.
I saw his cooking channel.
Yeah.
The cooking channel, right?
Yeah.
I was shocked when
know
you
if-
sent me that link. I was like, wow.
Yeah, if all the effort was going in the same direction all the time, there might be different results.
Right.
But it's undeniable that he works unbelievably hard, and he's extremely productive on top of it. It's crazy what he can do.
Huh.
Anyway,
But
yeah. So I started that second channel.
okay.
Yeah.
Commonwealth
I started
Flipper.
it was
Flipper was the
honestly
second channel?
Flipper, yep, and it was
Okay.
yep, and it was purely because Lonnie did it. That's
And then
just
you have
facts.
another channel,
And there's a lot. I do,
Garage
yeah.
Sale Nation. Which one is that?
So Garage Sale Nation, I started a Facebook group called Garage Sale Nation that
Yep.
was about highway sales and locations of highway sales and stuff. And it grew. It's pretty big. I don't know how big it is. 40,000 something like that.
42.8 last night. I
you
joined it last night. Yeah.
There you go. I don't do much over there. I have somebody that helps me out a little bit with it, but it's Richard. Opnip Drops Flips. If you ever remember Richard, he's a great dude.
Oh, yeah.
He
Okay.
Ford
he
Pinner.
does it now, but
Yep.
yeah, you got it. He helps with it, but it grew pretty big, and then it dies down when there's no highway sales, and then it kind of
Right.
gets more activity when the highway sales come back up. I use it for marketing more than anything.
Okay.
And so I started that, and then I started Garage Sale Nation YouTube channel to I was doing like reviews of highway sales, and I put them
Okay.
out there, and then each year, and they'd spike a little bit, and I had some people that went to them, did videos, and sent them and put them on there. But then I turned it into a shorts channel.
I remember
and
that.
It was really a
Yeah.
placeholder. It was a placeholder channel where I could store that stuff. It makes a little bit of money, but now I use it to repurpose to post onto Facebook. So it's a collection area that makes a little bit of money, but then from that hub, I don't have to post to all my different platforms. I can just hit a button and repurpose them, and they can go to Instagram, then go to TikTok, then go to Facebook, and it makes it, and what else? X as well. And so I don't have to post them everywhere. I just post them in one location.
Okay, so so then you have, on top of those, then you have the new do you have anything else, or is collections?
Commonwealth Collections just started it. It is I was torn because I wanted to do this for a long time because I wanted to reach a different audience because we have our own reselling site now, and I wanted to hit non-resellers to draw people to that site. And I thought this would be a great way to market it, and I could make money on top of it. And doing collections, doing top 10 lists. I've done 5 or 6 now. I just filmed one today, this morning. Got out there in the freezing cold shed because it's cold up here. Not as cold as where Ryan's at. And I'm just doing top 10 videos. I just filmed one on Tupperware. I did one on troll dolls. And
I was looking at that channel
and wrestling figures.
Shortly after you created it, and I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? And I still think this. I think there's a chance, like if you stick with it, that could be your biggest channel.
Yep.
I think there's a good chance of that.
I think you're right. It's they're all evergreen videos. That's what
exactly
Dave's doing, the cooking thing, which is all evergreen. And I actually I did something that with the picking channel. I didn't want to date any videos on the picking channel other than having the comps on there. And so if you watch one of my videos from a year ago or now, it doesn't really matter. There's not a storyline that's going through it. And because those videos are evergreen, I'm sure Ryan, you know that too, and Lonnie from the videos that you did from garage sailing, those things pile up views over time and continue, and sometimes spike. So I decided I would do that with the Picker channel, and not do storylines, not do multiple part things, and all my storyline stuff would go on the Flipper channel.
Those evergreens are a infinite money glitch.
They are.
Yeah, because Flipper videos, as Lonnie knows, are not.
Yeah, you got a good, you got maybe 3 or 4 days, and then it's pretty much over. On to the next, right? And every now and then one will do a little better. So that's all of your YouTube exposure there, pretty much.
Yeah. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 YouTube channels, and then of course Trash Cash podcast. So I guess that's sort of 5.
That one too, Trash to Cash. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all right. So you have those, and then you sell on eBay, right? Still?
Right now, I'm only selling on eBay and then our own site, and those are the only 2 places I sell. I have, we used List Perfectly for a while, and it's so hard to keep up with everything. Matter of fact, I wanted to keep my reselling mom and pop to some degree. It's more relatable. You have a bigger audience. I didn't want to become, the guru and the guy that's, this is how you make $1 million on whatever, and just, it's just not me anyways. And so I thought, okay, I was always a part-time reseller. I taught for 2 decades, and I was a reseller the whole time. And I did it in this amount of time. I was like, I'll just be a full-time content creator, and I'll still resell 20 hours a week. And so I kept it pretty much the same. But as the years go on here, I'm seeing so much opportunity in reselling. It's like, did I really want to start this new channel, or do I really want to pour myself into the reselling? And I think I figured out a way that I can do both. And well, I guess time will tell.
So how many listings do you have on eBay right now?
I think close to 1,800, 1,700.
Oh, that's a lot. That's pretty much about, that's a little more than we have, actually. We're a little low right now.
My sell-through rate isn't great, though, so that helps.
Ours isn't.
Tupperware doesn't fly off the shelf.
Ours isn't that great lately. I don't know if anybody's is that great unless they're just selling like silver and gold and stuff. But
I have been doing a little bit of that. I did see.
I saw that.
Interrupt you, but I did see your anniversary for your eBay store, and I was looking. I'm like, I wonder if I've sold more than Lonnie has, because no, I don't want to bring drama into this, but one time on a show, Lonnie said,
Oh boy,
Oh
that,
no.
well, we got to spice this thing up, man. You got to get some views.
Kevin's
actually
gonna
on
drop another grenade here. Get ready, guys.
I look, man. Don't make me bring out my secret war chest. I don't want to go there tonight, man. I really want to keep it friendly. Okay, what you got? Come on, Kevin.
Well, I told you, I said this to you face to face, so I figured
Okay.
I could say it. I said,
Oh, you can say whatever you like, but yeah. Okay.
he was on a show one time and he called my shed a show shed. I'm like,
Oh.
wait a minute. I've
that
been
was one-
selling for a long time. I've been doing it long before eBay. Now, granted, it is a show shed. I will say I set
Okay.
it up
Accurate.
to make it look good. Yeah, but the context was that, it's
I
like,
know.
this is the real
Yeah.
deal here. But and I looked, and you have 40,000 sales on that store. I have 35 on this store. I've had 2 other ones. I still don't think I can get to your 40K, but I can get a little closer. So that's impressive. 40K.
It's taken a long time, and we've probably got, between other avenues, probably about 10 more thousand between selling our own stuff and then Poshmark,
platforms,
Etsy,
yeah.
Mercari, all that stuff. But yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and then the box resizers and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
but you also sell on. You have tell me about your own platform too.
Well, you noticed when you were on our podcast, you had a viewer that was adamant that we were only having you on to get you to sell on our platform.
Oh, I
Which
know.
couldn't be farther from the truth. But
Kevin,
so-
you know I didn't think that,
I know
right?
you did. I know
Is
you
this
did.
the Dibdit thing?
It is. It is.
So you
So-
own this? You own this platform personally?
Yeah, me, Dave, and Carrie. I mean, own maybe a little bit of a, you're in cooperation with somebody else, but yeah.
Okay.
In
Like
some
a
ways,
private-
I guess
is it
own
like a
is the right
private
word, me,
labeling
Dave, and
kind of
Carrie,
situation?
and-
Is it like a private
yeah,
labeling kind of
exactly.
situation?
It's like,
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of like like a Shopify store that you would
Okay.
brand the way you want it, but it's Shopify store, right? And it's the same idea, and we've branded it, and me, Dave, and Carrie own it, I guess you could say. So I sell live over there. That was on my list to talk to Ryan about. I wanted to ask Ryan a question, but I'll keep going. We'll ask you in a minute. And I never was much of a live seller. And, and both of you famously were not live sellers and adamant about it. And a lot of what you said I agree with for quite a while. But at the same time, you got to look at trends and stuff. And it's like, okay, a bigger portion of the reselling community, not a bigger portion, but a growing portion of it, wanted and needed information about that and talk about it. And I did go sell over there on the black and yellow site for a while because they paid me. And I told them from the get-go that as soon as you stop paying me, I'm probably not going to do this. This isn't my gig. But I kind of enjoyed it. It was a way you could communicate with people, like we just talked about. You can't communicate unless you're doing lives or stuff like that. And I was making money off of it. But my model is not for that. I don't buy in bulk. I mean, you got to buy and buy and buy and sell.
I know.
I'm not just a natural born salesperson that's gonna, this is not me. I like the process of eBay. I don't mind sitting around, and I don't want to constantly have the pressure to have to buy and perform all the time. Plus, it's a lot of work and shipping. But we decided to do this because those guys, Dave and Carrie, were whatnotters from the beginning and like live selling. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I have enjoyed the heck out of it. And it's been growing. So we'll see how it goes in 2026.
Is Dibdit just a live selling platform, or can you list on it like you can on like eBay or something?
You can list on it, but I mean, we don't even have 20,000 members over there. So the likely, and a good portion of them are resellers themselves. So,
Makes sense.
It's like,
So-
you can list over there, but static sales are few and far between. We have some coming every day, but it's, if you list 100 things, end of the year, you're probably going to have 96 of them. It's like, I don't encourage people to do it at this point, maybe someday, but it's predominantly a live selling site, and we've sold approaching 1.4 million over there so far.
Wow.
So it's doing okay.
Okay, nice. And y'all collect like a commission, or fees, like eBay or whatever would. Okay.
Yeah, I get 1.67% of every sale.
Okay, and who runs Dibdit? Who like what is the what company, what parent company or whatever?
District.
Okay, so that's the thing that Pete's with too, right? It doesn't Pete do this
over
too?
there as well. Mm-hmm.
Craigslist Hunter for those of y'all that, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and Pete, so Pete sells live on his as well.
He doesn't do it much, but he does do it. He probably, he could probably accuse me of doing what copying Lonnie, because he was over there first. What I don't think he knew is at the same time we were already in talks and trying to do it, and we went ahead and did it. And it was not easy, and it takes up a lot of time. And between the three of us, we get most of it done. But it's definitely not easy.
Okay, so do you sell anywhere else?
Not right now.
Okay.
I sold on Bonanza forever. I sold a little on Mercari and Poshmark over the years, but I've stopped doing all of that. It's just eBay. It just makes my life easier. And a lot of that stuff's going to sell anyways. And it's like, you do have some viewership, and that keeps the sell-through rate, I'd say 20. I don't know. I'd be curious to know what what percentage of items do you think sell to viewers? Because people ask me that all the time. I'm curious what you think. I think mine might be a little higher than yours because I promote it.
Right. Yeah, I don't promote it. I would say maybe, I don't know. I'm just taking a stab because I don't have the numbers, but I would say maybe 15%, 15 to 20%, maybe. It might even be a little lower than that. Back when I was doing shout outs, it was much, much higher.
Yeah, that's the big difference maker there. Yep.
And when you did shout outs was a time period where people had easy money in their hands too.
Right.
And COVID and
it's
stuff.
true. A lot different.
For me, the viewer sales were much higher. And it also depends on what you're selling. They're not going to buy a car part.
True.
Right. Unless it's Wayne or something.
Right.
Buy 50 of them.
And then, so you mentioned, and I would like to, in fairness, my opinion of Whatnot is
we can talk about that a little bit.
It's at least 5 years old at this point. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so like my opinion on these live selling sites is much different today than it was back then, even though I haven't done it before.
Right.
That I recognize that like live selling is definitely a thing, and it's, I don't want to stock, like we don't get stuff in the volume that you would need to, honestly. And
I just lost you.
Hold on. Okay.
I don't know what I did to my screen, but I can't find you. Hold on just a second. Keep talking.
Okay, sure.
There we go. You're back.
I just don't know, like at this point, the way that our days kind of run, I don't know what we would give up to fit it in. Like we would have to drop something else we're doing to actually fit it in, That's actually what I did. I because you're making lower margins live selling anyways. And then I'm like, but can I bring somebody in to help? And that's what I did. And so you mentioned the people I work with. It's Dave and Carrie. It's so overblown. It's ridiculous. They're so full of crap. I have the people that work with me are, my wife lists I don't know, somewhere between 20 and 50% of our listings. And she helps me ship a couple nights a week with the smaller items. And then I have Jess, and she comes in. I mean, sometimes there's weeks where I don't see her at all. And then sometimes she's here for 20, 30 hours in a week. And she is in charge of all the live selling, all the live shipping. And she does help with eBay.
Makes sense.
With pictures and organization more now than she ever has. And that's it. My daughter helps with the merch. My son doesn't help at all. So
how long did you
workforce? They're full of crap.
How long did you sell on Whatnot? Just out of curiosity.
The first one I ever did. See, here's the thing, and I want to get your thoughts on this, because Ryan was a big hater. If you don't remember this, a big Whatnot
I was
hater.
adamant. I was very against Whatnot.
Yeah, and I kind of get it, right? And there was the whole, but at the same time,
I was wrong about one thing. I predicted that live selling was going to die, and it was just a fad. I was wrong about that, but I do stand by originally, and I can explain. No, I'll let you go ahead. But
you don't even need to. I'm not even arguing. A lot of what you said, I still agree with today. Of course, it's easier for people with content creators, and of course, you can abuse your following, and you can get people to buy it, and all that stuff.
It wasn't really, with me, it wasn't really about the abusing the following. The main problem I had with it was that Whatnot was paying creators to sell this story that, anybody can join the platform and make all this money. That's what I had a problem with, because it's just not true, and a lot of people were getting fooled by that at the time.
I totally agree. Matter of fact,
so that was the main thing I was against. But
not that
I mean,
you guys watched all my content or whatever, but when that stuff was going on, and I still to this day never, like, they did one thing where there was a bonus where you could get $200 if somebody would sign up and sell, and they were pushing that. I'm like, I'm not doing it. There's no way. I'm not gonna sell pie in the sky to people, because some people can sign up and sell, but you got to have this long line of criteria in place for you to be successful over there. You have to have some kind of a personality. You have to have you have to buy stuff dirt cheap. You have to be able to have the capacity to sell or to ship it. You have to be able to get consistent inventory. There's so many things that most resellers not only can't do, but most of them just don't want to do it. That I'm not gonna, for $200, tell them this is the greatest thing in the world. At the same time, there are some people that it fits like a glove, and so I don't necessarily blame Whatnot for kind of pushing that side of it. But yeah, if you wanted to come over and get 15 free bucks or something in my show, fine, have at it.
Right.
But it was pretty smart what Whatnot did as far as how they marketed this thing.
Oh, their marketing was genius.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
I will say though that I do see, because I've been paying a lot more attention to Facebook lately, as you probably noticed, and I see a lot of Whatnot sellers there, ton of Whatnot sellers, and I see the things that they're selling, and I submit that there is a lot of crap getting sold for more than it's worth on Whatnot. I'm telling you, like I see it like, ooh, look at the stuff we're gonna have in our show tonight. I'm like, what? I'm like, that's stuff I wouldn't list on eBay. A lot, I'm not saying every time, because there are some people listing high quality stuff, but there's a lot of influencers still selling a lot of crap for a lot more than it's worth because of who they are.
Right.
That's still going on. That's just a fact. But I was also wrong about live selling in general, though. I don't have the same opinion I did 5 years ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's examples of that. You can find it. But I actually think there's far more in the other direction. Just we don't see it. There's a lot of high dollar stuff going for 50% of eBay. There's way more of that going on than the other way around. If you look at the biggest folks over there with the biggest audiences, that's happening from time to time. I mean, my uncle he runs on Whatnot all the time, and his numbers are insane. He sells more. I don't know if he's making more than me because my margins are better, and he has a full-time job, and he makes as much, very close to what I make reselling, and he has a full-time job.
Wow.
And he is
that's
primarily a Whatnot seller, but he's changed his sourcing to the niche that he's selling in, and he travels and gets mass quantities. So there's definitely a place for people to do it. Where I think it's difficult is what I've tried to do. And I don't see many people trying to do it. There are a few that are creators, which is trying to do both and trying to do both right. It's not easy. And like when I want to sell, I look at something, I'm like, that's going to sell for $22 on eBay. Do I really want to put it on this show for $1? And we have a smaller audience over on Dibdit. So there's stuff I'm losing money on.
Right.
Over there.
But if you start cherry picking yourself too much, then you remove all motivation for people to come watch you in the first place.
You're exactly right. So when I decided I was going to do this, I was going to do it hopefully right, which means I'm buying more inventory, and eBay merchandise is going on Dibdit, and eBay merchandise is going on eBay. And that's where I think I'm at right now. But it requires buying a lot more, and I couldn't do it without help. There's no way.
So it sounds like you're more of a it almost sounds like, based on what everything you said you're doing and the people you have in place, almost sounds like you're more of a CEO of Commonwealth Industries than like a guy like me, who I'm still just like, I haven't changed. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm pretty much doing the same thing I've always done. We haven't really grown. We're just, I would say we're probably buying and selling a little better items these days, but you have like really taken off. Do you consider yourself more of a CEO type or general manager type?
I'm having a bad connection here. I hope you guys aren't.
No, I think our connection.
The right one here. I think I should be.
Were you able to hear
Should
me?
be on my good internet. I heard most of it. I think I caught the gist of it. I think you're right. I mean, I was a baseball coach, and I
Mm-hmm.
had 3 different teams underneath me. So I
Yep.
would coach the varsity team, I'd manage the JV team, and I'd select everybody and and I'm a teacher, and it fits my style as to what I want to do. The reselling itself, I don't do everything on the eBay side like I used to, because like I said, I do still ship. I still pull orders. I still list items, but I do have help from my wife, and increasingly, when I'm super busy, not right now because it's not sourcing time, Jess helps with some of that stuff too. But there's not some big enterprise around here. That I can promise you. I wish there was, but there is not.
Can I tell you something? I'm going to get a little spicy here. I'm going to
Uh-oh.
tell
Let's
you.
do it.
I'm going to tell you something that has always bugged the you know what out of me about your flipper videos.
All right, go ahead.
Oh,
Do you know what it? And this has nothing to do with a beef or anything like that. It's just
All right,
me
let me
watching
take
the
a picture
video.
of this and put it on Facebook. Maybe I should record it and put it on Facebook, and then we'll get. Here, I'll get this. Here we go. We'll put that on Facebook.
Well, it might not make the final edit because Ryan is going to edit the crap out of this to put you in a poorer light as possible. I told him
yeah. Taking down Kevin.
No, I'm kidding, of course. But no, dude, like this has always bothered me. But I think I understand why you do it.
Yep.
And I think it's effective. Ryan, go ahead. You know what? I'll let Ryan say it. Maybe because earlier it sounded like y'all kind of still have a beef, and I kind of like watching Ryan.
I guess we do. I didn't realize going into this, but I guess we do. You want me to say it,
I have
Lonnie?
one thing with Ryan. I put it on the list. We got to keep it real here. I mean,
All right,
we
well,
can't
yeah,
have the whole kumbaya thing going on over there. That a lot of people are like, I
Why
didn't
not?
even know there was a problem. I'm like, that's good.
Well, you know what? Really, there wasn't really a problem other than a few instances like the podcast or whatever where I made it public. Other than that,
Those are pretty big ones, but
we basically just didn't talk to each other ever. Right?
Yeah,
like it was just radio silence. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But that's why nobody knew, you know?
Yeah, it's
but,
good.
But yeah, Ryan, go ahead. You know what it is. Ryan figured it out.
Yeah, I know what it is. So what drives him crazy is you'll title your video about a topic. Am I right, Lonnie?
Yeah, you're on. Yeah, I already know. Ryan knows me. He knows how I think.
And then you will not answer say it's a question. Say the title's a question. You won't answer that question up front in the video. You will make the viewer watch the entire thing and explain it a little bit here and there in between each order pull.
It's maddening.
It's for retention.
And I understand. I get it.
I
understand why. But I really feel like, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, it makes the information extremely difficult to get. And it is maddening, dude. It is such oh gosh. Because it's like, dude, I don't care that you sold that.
You're not the only one, Lonnie. You're not alone. You're not. You just said it though. You don't care that I sold that thing. So I have it both ways. I have some people that don't want any topic. They only care about what you're selling. And then you have people that only want the topic. And so you can't suffice both of them. So I've done 3 different methods before. I've never done a video that I can recall that's specifically about one topic and that's it. Right? So I think once people know that, I want people to watch the everyday what's selling on eBay. But you can't title every video what's selling on eBay. And it's those titles and that information that make them somewhat evergreen. And I have had quite a few that aren't really evergreen videos. They're what sold, but have that topic in it. And then I've front loaded the topic before.
And what
then
happens?
I've strung out the whole topic, and that's what I do most of the time, and continue to talk about it. And
what performs better generally?
And how do you measure that performance?
It's tough to say. If it's a video about a specific topic that is really the center point of the video, and it's a really good topic that people really want to hear about, those videos will perform better. But you can't come up with those topics every 3-4 days. You can't. You just simply, it's just not that much, right? And so I want to hold an audience for the long term And that's about, that's why I kind of learned this from Pete, actually. Just watching his, I'm like, why do I love watching this so much? And it was the characters that in his original stuff, the people who worked with him, the bird, all this, he had
Right.
characters and everything. And so that's why I took a lot of heat for, why you put your kids in your. I wanted people to watch it like it was an 80s sitcom who were resellers, and to not even have to pay attention to it and to be able to work and to get a nugget here or there. Mine was never really intended to be teaching, and I don't think Lonnie's is either. It's really about the process. So I think long term the strategy has worked, and it's a pretty good core audience for it. That's my best answer I'll give you.
Yeah, it pisses me off though still because I'm like, oh, okay, all right, Kevin, you got me. Your title, your thumb. I want to see. It's like it's over, or something like that, right? It's all over. I quit or something, It's like, okay, all right, Kevin, you got me. What did you quit? And I click on it, and I'm like, oh god, I got to sit through this. Oh, but first, let me pull this Tupperware lid for $7.68, and I'm like,
right,
come on,
from
dude.
from a YouTube metric standpoint, it's very smart what you're doing. Yeah,
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it.
Look, a lot of times, a lot of times when I put the provocative titles on there, I'll be arguing against the provocative title all the time, knowing that the provocative title is what is bringing the audience. So let me see if I can come up with an example like, hundreds of people thousands are quitting eBay because of this, or everybody's quitting eBay or something like that. And then I talk people off a ledge for 20 minutes in between what's sold. And those videos just perform better. There's a lot of people who misery loves company, and they want the complaints and they want whatever, but they don't really want to quit. If they wanted to quit, they would have just quit.
They wouldn't be watching a video about
they're
it.
They're tuning in.
right.
You got it.
Right.
You got it. So it's really, I kind of, this is a struggle. This is whatever, but you control your own destiny kind of thing. And that's just the way, that's the way I coached. If you want to if you got a bunch of 10th graders in your classroom, you want to hook them, and you want to hook them by knowing you're with them, you agree with them, and then lead them to a place you want them to go. And that's kind of the way.
Makes sense.
It totally makes sense. And I am not dissing your use of clickbait or titles or thumbnails.
Listen.
because whenever people say, oh, that's clickbait, well, of course it is. We make the videos. I want to bait you into clicking on my friggin' video, obviously.
Like your Crown Royal stuff, and then like the Crown.
Right.
Wasn't it that one? Like that was a great one. I'm like, wait a minute. Or people said we wouldn't sell these, and we sold this many, whatever. I mean, look. It is
no.
what it is.
Oh, that was a bad one. I do clickbait occasionally, not as much as I used to, but yeah, there was one. No, there was one that was really bad. I typically try and make my titles. I'm like, they're pretty much always honest.
Not
always
a lie,
true.
but clickbait.
Not a lie, but on that particular one, I had like, this is from some bulk buy we did. We had like, I don't remember what the number was. It was like 50,000 stickers, right? And or whatever, or maybe it was 10,000 stickers. And it ended up being like, you put them all together.
Oh, I remember this.
They fit in a box like this big, right? And I was like, and of course the title was, we sold 10,000 of these in one day.
Right.
And it's like, that's like saying I bought 100,000 of these I bought 100,000 of these yesterday, and it's like, oh, sheets of toilet paper, right? Or something, you know what I mean?
And I don't think that's dishonest. It's called clickbait for a reason, right? And I would challenge people to. I haven't been dishonest in any of mine. They have been very misleading at times, but they're not dishonest.
Yeah,
maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. I did the one that I did that I've done it twice, and it worked both times. Was I was accused of not paying for this item or something like that. On a picker video, and one of them did extremely well, and I didn't pay for the item. Like I bought all this stuff, we totaled it up, and I paid for this, but I didn't pay for this one that was part of the bundle. Something I screwed something up. I screw stuff up all the time at yard sales,
Sure.
and most of the time it hurts me. But I didn't pay for it, and they're like, nobody accused you of anything and whatever. I'm like, an accusation doesn't have to be false to be an accusation. I said criminals get accused of stuff all the time, and it's true.
Right.
So they do not like that. But let me tell you, the views go crazy, and the subscribers come. So
You know what? I've got another thing, and this is more of an observation. It's not something that makes me mad, but it's something I've noticed about you, Kevin.
Uh-oh.
You take with all your success, and Ryan already knows this one. I'm going to do this one myself, Ryan.
Go ahead.
With all your success, all your platforms, all your channels, all you like, just huge success, which you should be extremely proud of. And this probably it's probably just a part of the double-edged sword of that you get when you deal with Kevin. You still take all of any kind of criticism you get in your comments, man, you let it get right through to you. And it I've seen so many instances of you in there defending yourself. And I'm like, why is he doing this? Do you ever feel like you should do you wish you could care less?
Yeah.
Like seriously.
Yeah, I tell Dave all the time. I said I wish I was more like you. Yeah, it's two reasons. One is it always has affected me like that. I don't like criticism. I never have. That was what was tough. I will give you credit, Lonnie. You have helped me get along the road of not caring, because it was a rough go. Because as we talk about on our podcast, I watched you forever. I admired you. I did whatever. I'm like, man, this guy doesn't like me, and I feel like I haven't done. I think I try to be self-examining. The unexamined life is not worth living, Socrates, and I always try to look at myself, and I try to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and whatever. And I can be pretty tough on myself, but I don't like it when criticism is wrong, and I never have. Anybody, it doesn't matter. It could be my parents, it could be my wife, it could be whatever. If somebody is saying something about me, I view it and think about it as an attack. The secondary reason that is very beneficial is over the years, those videos have turned out to be pretty good, because if it's a critique, not necessarily about me, but is applicable to other resellers, there's some camaraderie there. And a lot of people don't like, scumbag resellers and this and that. And so there's, I have a lot of people tell me, just ignore it, just whatever. And I'm like, I could ignore it, or I can make a video about it. And now I have a topic for the day. And it's heartfelt, because that's really how I feel.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that it's genuine, because I see the passion you have in your replies. I'm like, dude, you're making yourself look, but sometimes you do make yourself look pretty terrible. Just by arguing, because sometimes you are like, some things are factually just incorrect and it's slanderous or whatever, right? That is the case. And some things are opinions, like you're greedy. And I think, and I hear that a lot. I think all resellers are going to hear that to some extent. And you know what? There's some truth to that.
Of course.
Right.
Of course. Yeah, and the person making the comment isn't. Well, you made the comment on, I think it was one of your podcasts, or maybe it was ours, I don't remember. But when I type it out, it doesn't always, you don't get the tone, you don't get the emotion, you don't get. So when I get those, I respond from time to time in comments if I think it'll make an argument and people can chime in. But I like to say it. I like to give the whole context to the argument, and I think a lot of people enjoy it. Look, people aren't. I came to a conclusion a long time ago. There's going to be a good amount of people, no matter what you do, that just aren't going to like you, and I'm okay with that now. I'm fine, and I just continue to make videos for people that do like. There are people, they rip me all the time for I posted a video on Facebook today where I bought a ton of Bed Bath & Beyond stuff from a kid. I don't know how old he was. 14 maybe, I'm guessing. And boy, there are people going to be. I haven't looked at the comments yet. They're going to slam me for doing that. I mean, I got
Did
a
you
heck of
pay?
a deal,
Did you pay what
whatever.
they asked, or did you did you negotiate them down on their price, or did you pay what they asked?
Now he's asking $1.50 a bottle,
Okay.
and I got 3 bags worth, and what was on the table for 100, and I don't know how many there were. Probably well over 100, 110 or so. So no, I
Okay.
didn't pay the full price, but I also didn't count them.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm just like,
So
don't talk to kids and don't whatever. I'm like, I used to get paid to talk to kids. That's what I do is I talk to kids. I'm okay with that. It's not like mom wasn't sitting there. I signaled to her. I'm like, is this okay? Of course, I didn't put that in the video because I wanted people to get mad at me. But
now that's what I've always done. Anytime I've ever dealt with a kid and like negotiated a price or something like that, because I have before too.
mm-hmm.
I'll never, like, I don't mind negotiating with a kid, but there's got to be a parental type
Present.
or an adult figure there. And before the deal is done, I okay the final terms with the
Yep.
parent or adult in
Mhm.
charge first.
Yep.
I don't keep it quiet with the kid and then pay him here and then
No.
scram. You know what I mean?
Have you ever
Because I'll-
rob you.
have you ever done what Ryan did? Have you ever done what Ryan did? And the famous went back. I blame Ryan for all the people that say you should go back and pay that person more because Ryan went back and did the whole charity thing with that.
Did I?
one-
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the charity stuff.
I'm
Yeah.
like, man, you making us resellers look way better than we are.
Wait, what happened
Do
again?
you remember that, Lonnie?
No, what
This
is
was very early on. So we went to this yard sale, and we met this woman. It was like this nice older lady, and we got talking to her. I don't really remember how, but we got on the topic of like what she does in her personal life, and she said that she works at I think it was a soup kitchen, and we're like, oh, okay. And then like after the fact, after we were at the yard sale, we're like, oh. Me and Pam were talking about it. We're like, we should like do something. And that's the other thing. She has a yard sale like every weekend. So after we went there the first weekend, we were like, we should do something for her, like for her soup kitchen or whatever. And that's when we made our first T-shirt. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
I do. I remember now.
And so we made the T-shirts. We sold. I can't remember how much money we made. It was a lot.
That's
It was
a lot
over
for me.
$1,000.
I bought.
What's
one.
that?
I said I bought one. I think I still have it
Thank
in
you,
there.
Kevin. I think I do remember. Yeah, you bought
I'm
one.
gonna sell it on my Flipper channel. That's
Go
what I'm
ahead.
gonna
That's
do.
fine. I won't be mad.
That was a shot at Lonnie. I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry,
oh.
I'm sorry.
Kevin, I think you might be under the impression that like me that I still harbor. I'll be honest. I feel like you still harbor, and I can't really blame you. I guess I feel like you still harbor some resentment here. No, I'm
Lonnie,
serious.
I
I'm
don't.
not even
Listen,
laughing.
I'll
not
be,
even
I'll be
laughing,
perfectly honest.
But wait, let me finish. I feel like you still harbor some resentment.
I'm not finished.
And maybe you feel like I have some hidden of my own, and we haven't had a chance to work any of these things out. We haven't talked since the last podcast, other than to set this one up. In fairness, okay, and we should probably talk one-on-one privately. But
Sure.
dude, I have
I'm up
let
for it.
go. I like on my end, I have let go of anything like any kind of bad feelings or anything. But if we still have some stuff to work out, I am more than willing to work that out with you because
I'll be happy to talk to you. I can tell you this sincerely. I have no animosity whatsoever. I'm just
Okay,
bringing
good.
it up to be funny for the podcast. So
Okay.
maybe we'll watch it. That's the only reason. I did bring it up on another podcast see, you were magical, Lonnie, in the week that led up to you coming on our podcast. And I noticed it. Ryan noticed it too. You strung that thing on just perfectly. You threaded that line perfectly. You just like you did when you were live that day.
I don't know what you're
you were
talking
giving
about.
people. Oh, you do too. Don't get
I'm just good old Lonnie in the shed, man.
You're
What are you
watching the viewership when you bring up somebody's name and you bring up a little beef or whatever. You watch that viewership.
Let me
go
write
up,
these
and
names
it starts
down.
to get low. It starts to go on like it was perfect. It was.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that one.
Kevin,
All right.
Kevin,
Add that to the
Kevin,
list.
Kevin, I'm going to be dead honest with you on that.
Yeah.
I really was going there. I really was. That list I was making, but then I looked at the chat and I thought about things, and I looked at the chat and there were so many people saying, "Don't do it, Lonnie, don't do it." And I was like, you know
It's
what?
Christmas, Lonnie.
It's Christmas. Yeah, exactly. It's Christmas, Lonnie. Don't do it. And I was like, you know what? They're right. They're absolutely right. But now it looks like it was honestly, I wish I would have been smart enough to come up with that. But that was all real.
Okay.
The whole thing was 100%.
I thought it was brilliant. So maybe I'm giving you too much credit.
You are.
And the Facebook post.
Yeah,
this is just building up to be
I'll
great.
vouch. I'll vouch. He did not plan to do that.
No.
At all.
No.
On that show.
It is funny though that people watch, and like I knew immediately. Like as soon as you mentioned my name, I had 5 text messages like within minutes.
And then you sent your muscle in to see what was going on. You say, Carrie, get over there, see what's up.
Well, we have a Discord, we have different people, and so Carrie had got messages too because you had mentioned him. So I didn't send Carrie over there at all. I would say Dave, once it was there, it was a little push from Dave, I think.
When you sat down at your desk and started writing down creators' names, dude, the concurrent viewer count went bananas. I'm like, this thing is getting shared so many times right now.
Oh, let me tell you another thing that I think. Let me tell you something that I think is hilarious. I'm
losing you here.
I know. I think it's your internet, dude. You freeze every now and then. I know your guys make fun of your internet, but yeah, I won't make fun of it. But look, I've been having fun with Harold Tornado, as they call him on your show.
We mentioned that in the Harold Tomato. Yeah,
Harold Tomato.
He's been in our comments.
Yeah, he is so mad that I bring up the fact that my episode of Trash to Cash is so far outstripping his with views. He gets so friggin' he'll laugh it off. Oh, I'm just joking. He ain't joking. He has commented on this fact 3 or 4 different times. He hates it. He hates it so much. Do you think he would do our show? Do you think he would do this podcast? I don't think he would.
I don't want to answer for him. I'm
not. I'm asking you.
If it aligned well, I think he would. Yeah, I think he would.
You think so?
For sure. I can. No.
Man,
this is terrible. I hope this doesn't last for very long. I have it on my good internet here. This is what's disturbing me. Maybe if I can get this off of this. Maybe I'm on here. I don't know. We'll keep going.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out if he does.
I don't know. You guys remember when there was quite a bit of animosity with Josh and it came out, and I kind of kept myself separate. I was in the mindset of, hey, I felt like an OG reseller, even though I wasn't on YouTube as long as some other people, because I've been doing it for 25 years, and I kind of wanted to keep that. That was my audience. It wasn't the whatnot hype audience. It wasn't that, and so I kept my distance from Josh. And I actually called him one time because the first time he had the flip con, I wasn't going to go. And I didn't go. And the second time he did it, he asked me again. He's always been nothing but polite and generous to me. I'm like, I don't think this is fair. I don't have to agree with somebody 100% of the time on everything. And I'm like, I'm going to go. And I apologized to him when I was there. And I owe that to Dave and Carrie because Dave's like, what? You're an idiot. He's like, this is business. This is what you do. You just do whatever. And I was always kind to him. I never ripped him and whatever. But that was just how I felt. And I apologized to him. And he's been nothing but nice ever since. We tease each other all the time. He teases me, but he's been nothing but nice. That hurt me, Lonnie, more than anything, is when you were okay to make up with Harry Tornado publicly and say, I don't have anything, but not me.
Wait, when was that? When did I make up with Harry?
I don't know. You didn't really make up with him. You said something on something one time, I can't remember what it was. It was hey, it was kind of a whatnot, kind of a twist to it.
I don't know. This is old. This is old, really old news. But he would needle me every now. He would like one time he had my channel in a thumbnail, and he'd be like, yeah, some of these guys, when they make their thumbnails, and this is still true to this day, my thumbnails aren't good. I get it. Like he'd be like, some of these guys, like Lonnie, he just takes a screen capture from his video. Like,
yeah. I think you might have said that on our podcast.
And here's the thing with him is that I think a lot of times he may not be the most self-aware individual around. Like he'll offer things that he thinks are actually helpful or maybe not really that rude, and they come off like maybe I'm just sensitive. They'll come off as like hypercritical, weirdly hypercritical. That's what I've gotten from him. But again, I've let go of that. But
yeah,
I do have more views on Trash to Cash.
Oh man, yeah. Like I think it's when you actually meet somebody sometimes and you get to know him and whatever. Like
it's different,
and of
yeah.
course his
Right.
wife is terrific and whatever. It's just a different. It's totally different atmosphere. He's very, and I taught every kind of kid you could ever possibly teach. Right? I mean, I taught thousands of kids over the years. And so I just relate them all to those kids. And I know, not that Josh is a kid, that's not what I'm saying, but the personality types. And he's very optimistic about everything that he does.
He is.
And his optimism, he thinks it should apply to everybody. And I know it doesn't. And he probably does too. I think that may be what people sense sometimes with it. But you know what? If I had my choice to be around somebody like that, or Debbie Downer, it's a no-brainer.
Right,
to me.
of course.
No-brainer to me.
He is. I'll give him that. He has always been delusionally optimistic, and you know what? It's worked out, and the delusions become reality.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sometimes
It
they do.
starts off as a delusion, and he's turned it into reality because he's
That's how you become successful. Is you kind of have to have that level of delusion.
And he got
That's
his
true.
confidence. And
You got to
he's got
believe
no
it.
lack of confidence, and people would attack him being arrogant and whatever. And you know what? If at the end of my life somebody wants to, would I rather be a failure and not arrogant, or people view me as arrogant? Because people view me as arrogant all the time too, and it's just like
Really?
you just
I've
can't.
never thought that about you.
I
at
don't
all.
get that. I don't get that vibe from you at all. I've
No.
never gotten that vibe from
bragging about your sales.
No.
When things
No.
are going poorly for somebody, But I mean, I've done the video. This kind of goes along the line we were just talking about, where don't trust these eBay YouTube resellers. I've done that video once a year. I do that video once a year. Don't trust these eBay, and then I go about describing who you shouldn't trust, and I'm describing myself the whole time, the entire video. I never mention anybody else's name. But
Smart.
I still make the points that there's a lot of crap out there. There's, the same stuff. I used to appreciate Pete when he would get on live shows and he was like, yeah, I'm selling my not plan, what do they call my course soon, and I'm doing whatever. There's still a lot of BS out there.
Yeah.
And I want to keep my distance from it.
That was kind of the atmosphere of YouTube reselling whenever I started.
You want to mention any names?
No, I don't. I'd rather not. But I mean,
it was like the course people versus the people like you, Lonnie.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
And like
That was a really big thing back then.
dude. The course people, or however you want to say it, which is fine, dude. Like whatever, if that's what you're into. But it was over the YouTube reseller space was overrun with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's not like that anymore.
No.
And I'm happy about that.
Stuff plays itself out.
I
Yep.
do want to say one thing though. You mentioned something about Ryan, about Ryan's charitable thing he did with the lady, and I got to go to bat for my guy here, because after knowing Ryan for as long as I have, Ryan is the most charitable, actually good person I've ever met in my life.
I believe
So-
that for sure.
Wow.
So-
what my comment wasn't critical, by the way.
Oh, I know, but and now having said that, Ryan also he's no dummy. He recognizes the fact that that kind of stuff will play well on YouTube, but Ryan is the same guy whether he's gaining from it or not. Like Ryan. So I have to say that because Ryan really is, and Ryan is not only the best person I've ever known, but
I'm
he's
not
made.
perfect.
No, he's not perfect, but
What
he's
about
None of us are
made
perfect.
What about Pam?
Pam. Oh, Pam is a terrific
Great.
Pam, but he's made me a better person too, and so I have to say that about my guy
I
because
absolutely believe that.
Thanks, man.
I
Appreciate
love
that.
I love my guy, and he's been there for me for so I do want to put that out there. He is a
No doubt
but
about it.
so I couldn't let that go. Although he will use that to help market things from time to time too, of course.
Yeah, and I've done that too. I do that with, I don't like to talk about much of it, and we do some of that stuff. And I took a lot of criticism, and a lot of people don't believe it. And I started to post like receipts because it ticked me off so bad.
Right.
I've seen what you've done. Whenever you say, if you you challenge people to donate money, and then you say I'll match it, and I've seen that, and I respect that.
Yeah.
So
I got
Thumbs
That's
up
something
on it
worth
the other
mentioning as
day.
well. Like with my charity thing, and that's a big thing. Like when I did that, I was very young on YouTube. That was within like the first 8 months of us doing YouTube at the time, and I don't think we ever really did a charity thing after that, and that was on me because I didn't want like I know that's the thing. I know my intentions are pure, right?
Right.
And like I really do have, the intentions in my heart, but I didn't want it to appear that that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So
But
I
then-
never
but then-
did. I never did a charity thing again.
but then you do less, and then who
Well,
does that
no, I
help?
still do stuff in private.
No, I'm not saying
But
you
it's not
do
as
less.
effective for the
I'm not
charity.
saying you do less, but I just
Oh,
mean because I
yeah.
feel the same way too.
Right.
It's like, oh, people are going to think I'm doing this to benefit myself, but now
Yeah.
who's really hurting from my perception of that? My perception of what other people think. The charity is hurting because we've done. I don't know if you remember, but we did the big check one time, right? Like,
Yep.
the giant office check, Michael Scott check or whatever. We did the $10,000.
Yeah.
We raised $10,000 for American Cancer Society because that was something that was important to us.
Yep.
And the same thoughts went through my head. People are going to think this is just me trying to.
It's a weird, awkward thing.
But what's it matter? What's it
doesn't.
matter?
It doesn't.
So I think it opens up two doors, and sometimes it can be bad. I don't know if this happened to you, Ryan, but I've done that. We've done it for St. Jude. We did Ronald McDonald House. I've told the story a few times, but I had one of my ball players literally died on my field.
Wow.
I mean, he was just. I mean, he survived, but he was dead. If you know what I mean. I mean, it took the helicopter, whatever, a coma for whatever, and not St. Jude, but.
Wait, what do you mean? Wait, can you go back to that? You said he survived.
He had a massive cardiac arrest, and he had
Like
no
a
vitals.
Damar Hamlin situation.
Yeah, he had no vitals, and
but he came back from it.
They got him into a. We all thought and were told by a few people that he was gone when they took him off our field, and we were already prepared for that. And we got news, half an hour to an hour later that there's a chance. But anyway,
Wow.
the story. Well, that's when I learned CPR at that point because I'm like, that's never happening to me again where I can't do anything. But thank goodness we had some folks there. And so we did that. And then immediately after we did some stuff with that, I got letters in the mail. This is my situation. Can I have this? And you can't, back check all this stuff all the time. And I'm like, So we started to do stuff privately through just one-off sales of merch, and Lonnie knows a lot about selling merch and stuff, and we did that, and we still do it to this day, and we occasionally do stuff on Dibdit for stuff like that, but it can open up a can of worms. Like, I got my bookkeeper, I'm like, you're keeping track of all this stuff, right? Because if somebody's going to do an expose video, I'm going to have the receipts for this stuff because it opens you. I mean, I'm not going to mention the creators, but there's a couple creators out there that get called on the rug for this stuff.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't want to go down that road. And it does discourage people from doing that. So there's a lot of that was one thing, Lonnie, and I'll say this. And honestly, there is no animosity. It's why I'm here. And I appreciate more than anything you reaching out and doing this whole thing. It's been amazing. But I kind of lost track of what I was going to say.
You're talking about receipts.
Yeah, that was it. I can't. Oh, no, I can't remember. I'll get it in a minute. I'm getting old. It's all right.
No worries.
Oh, I know what it was. You live and learn. I was never on social media before, right? So what is acceptable and what is not acceptable can be blurred. And so, for instance, if I was so thankful to you, like you helped me with a mug. This guy's sitting here setting the world on fire, selling mugs, and then I say, "Hey, Lonnie, I want to sell these mugs. Help me out with shipping, do whatever." And it never crossed my mind that I might be stepping over some lines here. I might, if I'm commenting on one of your videos, Lonnie, I commented on your videos almost from day one. I just didn't do it under Commonwealth Picker because it didn't exist. I can go back to this video. I can show you my comments under probably my baseball coaches. My name.
Oh,
is,
really?
And
Wow.
so I kept commenting and whatever, and I'd send you something and do whatever, and I'm like, now that I'm a content creator, because I get those messages all the time and help from people or come on my pod. I've done 3 podcasts this week, and I want to help people out, but there are lines that you shouldn't cross. And different things, and you learn those over time, like what is acceptable and what is just kind of clinging and trying to take clout. And
Right.
those are things that I had to learn along the way as well, and that may have been part of the issues that you may have seen from me. And I did that, with, I'm trying to think, the very first time I did remember the 1,000 subscriber giveaways that were a thing? Everybody would do these when they hit 1,000 people or whatever.
Yeah.
I did one at 100, and I figured something out. At 100 subscribers. And I just wrote down the names of anybody who commented, and I put them in a hat, and I pulled it out. Turner pulled it out, so I wouldn't cheat. And he pulled out the name of somebody Thrifting 101 on my channel, and they were the 100th subscriber giveaway. I didn't know it. But they had a huge channel back then, 10,000 people. And I'm like, oh, cool. And I sent her a bunch of stuff that she won. And she put it on her video, and my channel blew up.
Oh, wow.
I gained like 800 people in 2 days. I'm like,
Wow.
huh. And I didn't do it on purpose. But I'm like,
Right.
dang, I hope the 1,000 subscriber works out like this. Right? And so there are things that people manipulate and do things that can bring some animosity to other folks behind the scenes, and I wasn't aware of any of that stuff, and it took me a little while to learn. Like, for instance, when I met Ryan, here's my beef with Ryan, which is not beef at all.
No,
Do you remember
you
the first
mentioned
time
quite
I
a few
ever
beefs.
saw you, Ryan?
What's that?
Do you remember the first time I ever saw? The only time I ever saw you?
In Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went down. I was up in my room, I think, and I came down to get something at front desk, and Ryan was there, and I was like, Ryan, nice to meet you, whatever. And I said, I got something for you later. And I gave it to you later that day. And I went back upstairs. I told him, I don't think he likes me very much. I don't know what it was. It
might have been me.
That wasn't the case.
I'm sure it wasn't. He probably
Nope.
who's this guy coming up to me at the desk kind of thing. But I started.
No, I know who you were.
And I gave Lonnie something there. First of all, I brought, moonshine, whatever, from Virginia. And it was Lonnie was hosting, John was hosting, Pete was hosting, and Ronnie was hosting. And so I got all of you guys the exact same thing for putting this on and doing all that work. I was like in heaven. I was a reseller my whole life and watching this stuff. I was a fan, and I was starting to gain traction.
Right.
And so I brought this stuff. I brought something for Ryan because you shouted me out on your show.
Yep.
I can't remember why, you and Pam, when you were filming in What Sold or something. And everybody else in that room that I knew would be there that did the same for me. I could go with a long, long laundry list. Even, there you go, put that on. Putting it on Facebook.
I don't know yet. I'm not sure
Justin,
yet if I want. I'm not sure if I want to disclose or not.
Justin was there as well, and I gave him something and gave everybody something. And then it was at a certain point, I thought, you know what? What do they think that the point is? This just clout chasing? Is this just to get more press? Is this just? I can honestly tell you, it absolutely had nothing to do with it, because there were many people that were there that had very small channels, and I did it for all of them. and it was intentional, and it's just the way I am, and I was extremely thankful for what you guys had done for me, because my life was changing forever, and it would not have done. It may have happened. It certainly wouldn't have happened as quickly, because Lonnie said stuff about me on his channel. I learned about. I could give you a list of 25 social media resellers that I learned about from watching Lonnie's show, at least. And so,
Well,
yeah.
I apologize that you felt
don't
that
have to.
way. That was not my intention. I honestly,
course not.
I'm trying to think back. I can't remember you giving me the stuff. I remember the stuff though. I remember sitting in my
You
hotel
might have
room.
had too much of that stuff.
Well, yeah. I remember
we-
sitting in my hotel room and looking at the gifts that you had given me. I was like, wow,
you
that was really
thanked
nice
me
of him.
for it. So
Yeah.
it was very
So
nice.
I don't remember what I said. But I'm sorry if it came across that way. That was not my
I
intention.
was probably making no sense running up to you at the thing. I just wanted to say hello.
Yeah.
You know what?
I think your kids made me something as well.
I
can't
have
remember
no
what it
doubt.
was.
No
I'm pretty
doubt
sure.
that they did. Probably.
Yeah.
Who knows what it was? My daughter
Anyway.
used to make everything.
You know, this is like a full circle thing. Then you know why Ryan and I are doing this podcast right now. We would not be sitting here right now doing this podcast if I didn't do that Christmas party
Right.
show.
Yeah.
And Carrie came in, and then we ended up doing the invite, and I ended up doing your podcast, and I had so much fun, and it made me miss this dynamic so much that talked to Ryan, and he's like, "Let's do it." Like
Yep.
he was all in. The only reason we're doing this podcast right now is because of the Trash to Cash guys.
Well,
Like
Pretty much.
the only reason I'm doing it because of them. I saw the dynamic that those two had together, and I'm like, I got to get on this. This is too much fun, because you hit the nail on the head. And I don't know if you guys are monetized yet. I assume you will be. If you're
Close.
not, very,
Probably
very
after this one.
close. Yeah.
it might be.
Yeah.
This might be the show that gets us there.
Yeah, cool. Well, you could have had John on. Just saying, Lonnie, that would have been like set the world on fire.
Well, I've been thinking about that, and I'm sure John. I don't know where he's at right now. And
I think John is very similar to me. He can let dead dogs lie, but it's a better option than not. That's what my guess is. He's always been with me.
you are talking about Cincinnati Picker,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so
I
yeah,
have
I
a
mean,
story about that.
we've actually never fought or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went through a time, and we were talking a couple of years ago. It was okay. It was whatever. Haven't talked to him in a long time still. And I do want to have him on this show. I do. And I hope it happens, but I can't just now. I'm kind of in a spot where I want to reach out to him, but I don't want to reach out to him
Comment
and
below,
then
John. Comment below.
and then go, oh, by the way, you want to be on our podcast? Because then it looks like I just reached out to him to get some clicks, and I don't want it to be like that.
Yeah.
I don't want the clicks that bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
See, it's back to that dynamic that we talked about. It's like you want to do things that are mutually beneficial.
Yep.
You want to do things that are real, and you don't want to do. But sometimes it's just like the charity thing. Sometimes both can be true, and
Right.
that's
Yep.
the best about. And it's just difficult to somehow come to the conclusion what those things are.
And at the
reminded
same
me of
time,
something.
everybody's going to have an opinion on it.
Yep.
And you just got to let it go. The people that see it negatively.
Yeah, and there'll be,
Yeah.
there's people out there in social media world, small names, big names, that don't like me and don't trust me, and I'm okay with that. All I can do is I want my kids to like me. I want my wife to trust me.
We've also got. There's also a group. There are those that watch. I think there's a lot of people that watch both of us. Obviously, you have a bigger audience than I do, but there's a lot of people that watch both of us and like both of us. But then there's a certain, I don't know how many of these there are, but there are some people that are Team Lonnie, and there are there are some people that are Team Commonwealth or Team Kevin, and they probably hate this right now. And they've actually been they've
But
actually
they're watching. They're watching though.
right, and I've seen a couple of them in the comments, like and you probably, I'm sure you reading the comments from when I did your show,
Yeah.
y'all's show. There's probably some that kind of, you're like, oh, that's some of Lonnie's people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But
And
that's
I'll probably, what you gonna do, right?
I think the one thing in this business, the one thing that is like an immediate turnoff for me, because I could be friends with just about anybody, but the people that come to me and say, I can't do this with you because you're friendly with this person.
Oh, right.
I am not all about that. If you're telling me, hey, as long as you keep your, I don't know.
Yeah.
That can be a little rough. And, I mean, look, we all are flawed in many, many ways, including myself. And it's just like, what are we going to do? Is it a litmus test for everybody? No, thank you. I don't want anything to do with it. So,
Yeah.
but I gotta, I know this is going, you guys are trying to do an hour, but I talked.
Well, I keep looking at the clock and I'm like, I can't pull the plug because
Right.
I don't know if this guy's going to come back or not.
Well, you don't have to cut anything. Everything has been great. I wouldn't have been cut anything. Well, I don't know about that. We've cut a couple things. Very few.
Have
on the
you?
Trash to Cash
Really?
podcast.
It's gotten too hot before?
Lonnie, do you remember? Oh yeah.
Okay.
A couple
Interesting.
times.
We-
times. Not very often. I
we've
wanted one thing kept that got cut, and that's pretty rare.
I think we cut some stuff in our old podcast that we did a couple
Really?
times. To be
That was after cutting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Just to
saw
be
the edited
transparent.
version.
Just to
Did
be
you see David
transparent.
Carey's shot about the Amber Heard trial? Did you see that on maybe it's coming out this week. I can't remember.
Oh.
They're like, I was so disappointed the podcast ended because you guys were going off on pop, what's going on in the
Yeah.
world. I'm like, man, this is like risk. I was admired the fact that you're willing to put everything at risk, but because you get political, you get religious, it gets touchy, but you want people to see who you really are without it being a channel about that. And then a podcast is totally different. You can really get to know people a little bit better.
I self-edit I edit myself a little better than I used to. There was maybe one day I'll tell you, but there's another universe where this podcast starts off really weird. As a matter of fact, you know what?
This podcast, Lonnie and Ryan's podcast?
No.
Oh yeah.
This
show.
This
really?
episode
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah, but should I tell them
You
now?
want to do it? Just
No.
wanna do it?
I'll ruin it now. It would, Ryan. I shouldn't even.
You said at the beginning it didn't start off the way you thought or you would, so now I'm curious. I don't know. Maybe we should just leave it there.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Hat story. I got to do. Do you remember? John was selling on one of those live YouTube auctions one time. You guys, I think you did it before too, which I thought was a little hypocritical coming out against live selling a year or two later, by the way. But John was selling hats.
Man, you keep trying to beef, but go ahead.
Hey, you told me my videos were clear. I took it like a champ because it was right.
Because it's
Right?
true. It's based.
It's true. It's based. Yeah.
It is.
But anyway, John was selling on one of these things, and I was bidding on this because I was getting close to 1,000 subscribers, and I wanted my 1,000 subscriber giveaway hat to be a John Cincinnati Picker hat. Actually, that wasn't why I started bidding, but you threw in, I'll pay this much for that lot of hats if you throw in your Cincinnati Picker hat. And I'm like, oh, now I got to get this. And then I threw in, I'll pay, and this was, I didn't have any money. I was a teacher. I was just getting started. The YouTube money hadn't come in. The Animan hadn't even started to sell, I don't think. But and I said, all right, I'll do it. I'll bid. And Lonnie's bidding me up, man. I'm some poor school teacher, and I end up paying $150 for this lot of hats. But I got John to sign that hat, and we did give it away. But do you remember bidding me up, or do you just remember that shit? You probably don't even remember it was me.
I don't remember, dude. You have no idea. Like sometimes when you bring things up that, like from 5-6 years ago, I'm like, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, to be honest. Like, that's how bad my memory
but
is.
that should be for me, it's like everybody has a different perspective, and
You
gotta
you
always
have
remember that.
you have a memory like a steel trap, man.
Oh, dude, I can remember like everything in that shed. Like, I remember where I bought it. I remember how much I paid for it. It's pretty rare that I don't know exactly. I don't know what it is, but I know it.
I used to be that way, but I think I'm just getting old. How old are you, Kevin?
I'm 40. I'm almost 49.
Okay. I think when I was 49, I could still do a little better at it.
Oh,
But
you're
once I
worrying
hit 50, man.
Remember this,
ugh.
Ryan. Remember this.
I know what I got to look forward to, right?
No, you know what, Ryan? Ryan is my best friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gathered that.
And I'm just thinking, like, Ryan just hit 30. Okay.
Yeah, big 3.
That's interesting age gap there for that.
I know. I am
Yeah.
52.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, when you're 40, you know how old I'm gonna be, dude?
62.
You're gonna have to get a new friend. Dude, what are you gonna do? You need to start developing a new friend now.
No.
Because, like, man, I ain't got that long.
Honestly, that's what I kind of liked about Ryan when Ryan started, and I know we're getting long. I should ask you one more question I had for you, but I have I've been an old soul, and I always try to show deference. I do it to this day, even though I haven't talked to Pete in years, because he was the very first, and then I watched Lonnie. I'm like, I can't do what Pete does. He's got a storefront and like, but Ryan from the get-go was always very respectful of the people that came before him, and that it was very endearing to me as a slightly older guy. And I think that's a lot of what we're missing in some of this. And just a little bit of that goes a long way because I get people coming up to me like, oh, I started reselling. It's like, it blows my mind that I could help somebody along a path that made them successful. But that's the way I viewed other people. So it's like, why couldn't that be true here too? So, but that endeared me about Ryan. But the question I had for you is, I know you had a baby and all that, but what was the impetus for stopping? Because you were on a trajectory to just blow the world away.
And you're talking about
I'm talking about the
Thrift Mine.
reselling. I'm talking about the garage sale content. Yeah.
Okay.
You first of all got to live in a tough place to do that and have enough content. But
that's one thing is winter. But a couple things. I think I talked about this. Pam and I did a podcast for like a very short time, and we kind of talked about this a little bit. This was like 2-3 years ago, but it was 2 main things. Number one was the baby. You know, we had less time to do the reselling thing because we both worked full time. We were part time. We were always open about that. But I think the catalyst that really like pushed us into switching gears and not doing that was actually this is a good question I should ask you, is we had negative reactions in public when I filmed. Yep. Yeah. We had this guy harassing us really, really bad, like yelling and screaming at us for just minding our own business and filming. And it was really uncomfortable. It really rattled us like a lot. And we had Ryan with us. He was like,
was this a fellow picker?
I mean, it was another garage sale shopper. Yes. But I don't know if they knew who we were. I'm not sure, but it was very negative. It was a little bit scary. And like I said, we had our son with us at the time, and he was very young. He was just in a stroller. And after that, we were kind of done. We were kind of done.
That's what I thought the answer would be when I asked it. So
yeah.
I wasn't positive because I didn't hear that.
And it was unfortunate. Now I look back on it, and it was like, you know, I think it was the best thing going forward, as far as like our life and stuff. But at the time, it really sucked. It sucked because I knew that we couldn't continue down that path, even though I wanted to.
Yeah,
but
that's a real issue. I mean, I don't know. I guess
have you ever had anything like that happen?
Very little, and certainly not with my wife there, and that's a big difference, right? My wife will go pick a little bit, but not much.
Have you ever had someone contact you and say, "Hey, I've had similar situations to Ryan," and that I haven't talked about it much, but I have actually had people reach out to me and say, hey, I don't want to be on YouTube kind of thing. I
Yeah,
think Ryan's taken videos down because of that
I have.
before. Have you
Yep.
like as long as you've been doing this and
Yeah.
as many garage sales as you filmed, like have you had have you had
One
these negative
one
reactions?
one time, as far as somebody contacted me after the fact, it's happened one time, and they had one request, and their request was to take their face out of the thumbnail. They didn't care
Okay.
about being in the video, whatever. They just didn't want their face in the thumbnail, and of course, I did it. At sales before, very few times, maybe 5 times in all this time period, somebody said,
Wow.
would you not put me in the? Of course, that's a no brainer. Um, One thing I do all the time is I immediately, when I'm going into a yard sale, I try to get the person having the yard sale on my side, just being very friendly, saying hello, good morning, whatever. That way, if any other issues come up, because there is one guy locally who will, if he sees me at a sale, he goes right to the person having the yard sale and say, that
Mm,
person is filming. That person is
Okay.
filming. And I'm not hiding anything. Good Lord, man, this thing's freak. I mean, I'm not doing these glass and whatever. This is very obvious, and I'm always very upfront with people. And if it's a situation that might be a little touchy, I'll tell them in advance and ask them if it's okay.
would you ever? That's what I was wondering. Like, I got to the point where I started I had issues to the point where I started questioning myself and thinking, man, I'm this middle-aged dude with a camera on, and I feel like I started feeling like a creep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, the only way I would feel not like a creep is if I went to the person running the sale and I said, hey, I want to film at your garage sale. Do you mind?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? And then they give me permission or not. And I wasn't willing to do that. So I stopped.
Yeah,
You know, like,
I get it.
so, I mean, do you ever feel like, and man, I would feel so anxious
Yep.
wearing that camera and walking up, and I would see, especially if weren't like, if there was nobody else there. You know how sometimes there'll be like 3 or 4 of the people just sitting in chairs and they're just staring at you as you
And
walk
it's
up.
so obvious.
And it's like, do you feel in any? I would feel just like a lot of anxiety just walking up, and you don't feel that.
I have in the past. It's certain situations you can kind of. I feel like you can scope out a situation pretty quick, and I haven't felt like that. The situation you just described, when there's nobody at the yard sale and there's a row of people that are, every eye's on
Right.
you. Those are the ones that it's like, yeah, this is a little weird.
Yeah.
I think part of it is I talk to. If you watch my video, I'm talking to the camera almost the entire video, unless I'm talking to somebody. So I'm sitting there at a yard sale, and I'm talking. I imagine what people around me are thinking because I'm sitting there just talking away to a plush or whatever it is. And so I think a lot of people nowadays, they almost assume you're filming. And if somebody asks, I just tell them, here's my channel, go subscribe, here's whatever.
Well, that was the reaction I would usually get, like, because I did get asked a lot, are you filming? What's that for? And I'm like, oh, I have a YouTube channel. And 9 times or 95 times out of 100, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
cool. What is
What
it?
is it? Yeah.
It's usually
Put me on it.
positive. Yeah.
I usually ask you want to shout anybody out? You want to say hi to your girlfriend? Whatever.
And that's the thing that happened to me personally too, is like that interaction that I just told you guys about was the worst because it was so obnoxious. The guy was screaming. It was a community sale, and it was like in a neighborhood, and he was doing that. He was going around to every house saying those people are filming, and then also screaming and yelling at us in the street. But I had other like instances of people that were not okay with me filming. I had one person call me an asshole once just because.
We live in the South, Ryan. We live in the South.
And but those instances for me personally made me self-conscious. Like when we first started, I was fine with it. It didn't bother me filming, but those for me made me self-conscious every time. Every time. It didn't matter on the situation.
I do agree with a lot of times when I go into a home, I will make sure they're aware of it.
Yeah.
I had Kevin. I had one time. I had an estate sale, a local estate sale runner. They posted a picture of me
Yeah, you
on
told
on
this.
on Facebook, and there's all these, and then the comments below it are all, what a creep, what a loser, reseller scum. Oh my God, like that's illegal, blah blah blah. What? And I read all that, and I'm like, it's terrible. It's terrible. Oh, I've seen him. That guy's a loser or something. You know what I mean? It's like, and I was like, you know what? I was like,
it's not worth it.
It's not. But you know what? The fact is, actually, the truth is, it is worth it.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't strong.
Yeah.
I wasn't strong enough to continue on, to be honest. I mean,
for me, it wasn't worth it for my mental health, because and also for the safety of my family.
Well, they say, necessity is the mother of invention, and I worked my butt off for 20 years in the public school system and coaching, and when I quit coaching, I mean, I poured my life into this thing for 15 years. And as a head coach of a local, that was a terrible program, and I built it up. The day I quit, other than the kids who I coached, in the past, nobody gave a rat's ass about it. Nobody they could have cared less about what I had poured into this thing for peanuts.
Yep.
And then I started to think about that in terms of my teaching as well, because if I was going to do it, I was going to be the best. I was going to do it. And I'm like, it's going to be the exact same way when I leave this room. I taught in the same room for 21 years. I walked out and never been back. And nobody, other than a few friends, nobody said a word. And I busted my butt. And I'm like, I'm going to bust my butt for my kids and my family, because they're my kids and my family.
And at the same time, you're making an actual impact on the world that is affecting the lives of thousands of people and changing people's lives, right? And having a positive stamp on the world and giving you a sense of purpose through that.
On that note, I'll thank Lonnie one more time for that's exactly what you did for me. And it wasn't just in the reselling, because I've been doing it forever, but it was like, hey, the little guy can do this. He's in a shed in his stinking backyard. I can do it. And it wasn't watching Pete that made me think I could do this. Pete inspired me to resell better and more. But the social media of it was this. I always reference the green. I'm like, my wife would have never let me get that green, but it was brilliant.
Well, it's come full circle, because now I'm looking at a lot of the things you do, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to copy it verbatim, obviously, but I do see what you do on Facebook.
Yeah.
And with the short content, because I'm real, like, I got real comfortable for a long time doing the same thing I was doing, and everything changed around me, and I didn't.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
To be
with
honest,
this. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
because you guys are close, but
right.
You don't have a big circle. Obviously, you brought Amber on. One of the biggest things for me that helped me go along that path was a group of, like, I have some really good friends in the reselling / social media business. Eric OBX and Tim over the years, and Chernock and Leroy and Dave and Carrie and Rod. And my best friend is Mike Deathpile Picker, which is a strange connection of two people. But those, just having a group of people that communicate, it's like if something new is out there that might fit me, I know it in a day. And the same thing with those guys, that if I'm doing something, and so it kept me trying to build and to grow in reselling and in social media. And it sounds like you guys have been having those conversations, especially about Facebook and stuff lately, because it is I make more on Facebook than I make on the Flipper channel. I'm not ever quitting the Flipper channel because I like it too much.
Yeah.
But it has expanded the audience and helped me grow. Dibbed it. Yeah. I couldn't have done Dibbed it. We couldn't have done it without Facebook.
You always got to keep the main thing. You got to remember. I think I'm always careful to remember, like selling on eBay for me, and yeah, I thought about selling on Whatnot Life, selling all this other stuff, but for me, it's always been about buying cool old stuff and selling it on eBay, because anybody can do that, and the relatability of that. And that's one thing I've always tried to do, is to remember that eBay is my main thing, at least.
Yeah.
And that has been to my detriment at some point,
But you're still
but
here, Lonnie. You're
still
here.
here.
Dude.
Yeah.
This stuff is littered with social media resellers who decided to do something else and get away from exactly what you're saying. It's littered with it. I could name 10 people that don't do anything anymore because they took some stupid steps. Like, there are people like, oh, I make all this on social media. How do I cut out reselling? Well, people are watching you because you're a reseller.
Or the reselling. Yeah.
We
Dude,
get these bloated ideas in our head of well, we're whatever, so they'll watch our podcast because we're podcasters or whatever. No, they'll watch your podcast because you think differently, you're creative, you're helpful, you're thoughtful, you communicate. There's so much more to it than quitting the main thing. So
have
I'm
you ever
dedicated to that.
That's one thing about what we do, Kevin, is that's kind of the trap. And I know you've done really good. You've done really well at like finding being creative and finding ways kind of out of the trap. But no matter what, like we have to buy and sell and pack and do all this work just to be able to make a freaking YouTube video. And I look at these other segments on YouTube, and they like I am stuck. And I love reselling, but I have to do it.
Well, they know. I think
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think Dave and Carrie know my fears of as being viewed as some kind of a fraud, as being viewed as some guy who wants to shill an affiliate link. They know that is my fear. I want to take advantage of those things, and so that's why they say, he doesn't pack anything. It's a bunch of BS. But they take a little bit of truth, which is I had to hire somebody to help me with his live selling, and they make it like I got a crew working in my backyard because they know it scares me, because that's the legitimacy that you're talking about. But I do think we have something else in common, and that is I think both of us will probably resell to the day we die, or we can't do it anymore.
Don't have a choice. Yeah, I mean,
I love it. I still love
it. I love it too, but I would really, I feel like I would love it a lot more if I got to a point where I could just spend maybe a couple hours a day at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe buy and sell, like maybe sell 5 cool things a day or something like that, and still, but like, oh man, I don't think people understand how much work this is.
No doubt. There's no way. I don't know how many hours you put in, but I mean, I put in 70 easy.
I was going to ask you that earlier. 70 a week?
Yeah. And thank goodness I homeschool my kids and stuff, so they're always here. I always make time, but man, it's a lot of work.
I don't put in as much work as I used to. I used to put in those kind of hours. And then when Candace joined me, I backed off some, but it wasn't healthy. It wasn't like I was working 12 hours, 7. I was probably putting in more like 70 to 80, not always the most productive time, to be honest. But
how about your job, Ryan? What kind of hours are you doing?
I'm usually working. It depends on the time of year, but like right now it's a little bit lower. But generally, in the summer months, you're probably looking at like 50, 55 hours, I would say. I'm leaving the house and I live a little ways away from where I work too. So like I'm leaving the house at like 6, and then I'm getting home generally around 5:30, 5 to 5:30 at night.
Well, I don't know what you two are doing, but with all that, your Facebook feeds are starting to pop into mine. So I've followed both, and they're starting to pop. And Ryan's outside of the niche, and I'm getting it. It's coming. So I guess
that's good.
A good sign. It's a good sign for sure.
But between Ryan, between your full-time job and what you do on social media and everything, you probably put in more hours than I do, I would think. I think so anyways.
Yeah, probably. But that's I guess that's another reason why, because Kevin, you asked me why I quit Thrift Mine. That's another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing now, is because I can do it. Like I can like with the job I have, I can edit video here and there, like while I'm at work, at and so that helps. And then also it's for the most part, well, actually all of it is short form content. So an edit will take me, I don't know, 20 minutes max, maybe a little longer, depending on what it is. But it's an avenue that I can still have that creative outlet and still hold my career the same as I did before, and also be a dad at the same time.
Issue. Dave was, because Dave made really good money. And it was like, dude, this is a little crazy for Dave to do this. I make nothing. So it was easy. The COVID years, I had footage. It's when I kind of blew up, and I had time. I mean, there was nobody in my classroom. There was nobody there. Right. I was teaching. I was like, I can edit all day. It's cool. And then that convinced me, because you could see a trajectory that's like, whatever. I can make this on social media and more. And that's what finally got me over the top. I don't know if this will be the best video, but this will be the longest video. I promise that. What were you gonna say?
No, I was going to ask, did you actually retire? Like, are you drawing a pension and all that kind of stuff, or you didn't have quite enough years in?
You got to get to 30 to have full pension. I think 25. I've kept. This is the last year my teacher's license is still. I don't think I'll re-up it. I had 9 more years to go before full retirement, so I think.
Did you have anybody try and convince you not to quit?
Everybody but my wife.
Wow.
She was the only one, but she knew because I pour myself into whatever I'm doing. It doesn't matter. So coaching and teaching, that was just, it consumed me. So she's like, I'd rather be consumed at home doing something else. And it's worked. It's worked.
It makes sense though. Cause I mean, if you tell that to somebody that doesn't understand YouTube and what you're doing, oh yeah, I'm quitting to be a YouTuber. Like people, okay, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Well, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work out.
Yep. Yeah, true.
That was the thing I've never said. People ask me, should I quit this and do this? Nope.
Right.
And what you said earlier, Kevin, because I've seen like you ever hear like people like think that like determination and never ever giving up is this
time to quit?
Is this virtue? Like that's not. I don't think that's the virtue people think it is, because like what you said earlier when you said, okay, I'm going to upload every single day for a year and I'm going to see what happens. Like if after that year, if it wouldn't have worked out and you would have quit, like that's cool, because like, you know what? Not everybody is good at this.
Right.
It's good at not everybody can replicate what Kevin does.
Yep.
You know, and that's exactly what I mean. Thank goodness it worked, but I still didn't quit. I still coached another year. I still taught another 3 years. I was still cautious. You can't be stupid. But I did think when I finally did quit teaching, I'm like, I could walk back into any school around here and they give me my job back. It was 5 years from now. So
it wasn't even a risk.
Big risk. No, it's not a big risk. If you give up a $300,000 a year job that you can't get back, that's a big risk.
But if you have a $300,000 a year job, you can get that back too, because obviously you have some skill set or whatever. There's something about you that somebody's paying $300K for. You know, but I really like what you said about that though, because I have seen so many, and you probably have too, so many people that have tried to do this YouTube thing over the years, and for whatever reason, it doesn't resonate with the audience. They're not good at it. Their personality doesn't fit. People don't like them for what doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't work.
Right.
And for whatever reason, it never will work, no matter how hard they try. And they keep on trying, and they think there's some virtue in that. And there's not.
Nope. I 100% agree. It's foolish at some point, and maybe a year was foolish, but
I don't think so.
That was a good run at it.
Well, obviously it wasn't.
No, thank Thank goodness. And like I said, my life is. Who would have thought there'd be reselling celebrities? I watched Sanford and Son the other day. I'm like,
Right.
reselling celebrity right there.
Was that you that you posted that? You
I
made a
did.
post about
did.
yeah. Oh
I'm
man.
gonna post another one. Don't steal it, Lonnie. I know how you like to steal my.
Oh wait, hang
stuff,
on. Let me get my.
That first episode I took. I'm like, I wonder how old he is in that. I'm waiting for my birthday when I turn 49 because he was 49 years old. He looks like he's 80 in that.
Yeah.
thing. I'm gonna post that when I turn 49.
The
Oh my
dad
God.
in Sanford and Son?
Yeah. He's
Wow.
49.
Oh my God.
Wow,
My
that's crazy.
My memory sucks so bad. What was his name?
Red Fox.
Red Fox. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, he was immensely popular.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they have you see the records, you see the vinyl sometimes, right? Like the old vinyl records and stuff
Who would have
from
thought
his
he was better than Bill Cosby actually as a person? Nobody.
right.
Right.
That's good stuff.
Oh boy.
But Kevin, you know what, man? I want to thank you again for
Absolutely.
for just for being open-minded and giving me another shot and
Always.
Yeah,
Thank you for being open-minded, and maybe I like to think maybe you put yourself in my shoes a couple of times, and sometimes that's what you got to do.
yeah.
Yep.
So, but I appreciate you, always will. Even
And-
even if this never happened, I still would appreciate you because of, like I said, it was watching your show that made me think I could do this. That was not an insult. Not like I could do what this guy.
Well,
does.
if he can do it, anybody.
But it was just a common,
Right.
You're no different than
inspired
any
you.
other reseller out there.
Right.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, this
You're
is
very
this has
welcome. It
been
was fun.
this has been a lot of fun, dude. And your time is valuable. I guess right now we're probably taking away time from your family, so thank them for
Gotta go
for
play
letting us
phase
borrow
10.
you.
I promised them. Thank you,
Phase
guys. Thank
10.
you both. And I am gonna
Yeah, no,
run,
thank
so
you.
we can't have our conversation now. But I'm looking forward to it. And Ryan, thank you. I appreciate.
Absolutely. Oop.
Whoa.
Did he leave?
I think he did.
Oh, he left. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching.
Wow,
I think he
was,
probably hit that by accident.
I think he did too, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
But yeah, Kevin, if you watch this back later, thanks a bunch, man. That was
Absolutely.
that was a lot of fun.
That was great. All right, guys. We'll see you. Thanks for watching.
Bye.